Hello, dear students. I am Ariel, and welcome to Bookish English. Do you hear English, but still feel lost when people speak fast? Maybe you know the words. Maybe you understand the subtitles.
Hey, you want to grab lunch?
I'm gonna finish this first.
Yeah, cool. Let me know. Hey, did you catch that? Overdose so much, right?
Not every word, but I got the idea.
That's real listening.
But when real English enters your ears, your mind becomes empty. You are not weak. Your listening is not broken. You were just never taught how to listen the right way. In this video, you will learn powerful English listening techniques that actually work. You will learn why you don't understand English when people speak, how to stop translating, how to use subtitles correctly, and how to train your brain to catch real English sounds. So stay with me till the end, because Lesson 8 is very important, and it will give you a simple daily listening plan that can turn today's confusion into real English confidence. Before we begin, subscribe to Bookish English and comment below what is hardest for you in listening fast speech, accents, subtitles, or fear. Lesson 1. Your listening is not broken. Have you ever listened to English and felt like the words were running away from you? You heard the sound. You knew someone was speaking English. Maybe you even knew many of the words when you saw them written on the screen. But when those same words came through your ears, your mind became empty. You tried to catch the first word. Then the second word came too fast. Then the third word disappeared. Suddenly, the whole sentence was gone. And in that moment, a painful thought came into your mind. You thought, maybe my English is weak. Maybe I am not good at listening. Maybe I will never understand real English. If you have ever felt this, I want you to listen carefully today, because this lesson is for you. Your listening is not broken. Your brain is not slow. Your ears are not useless. You are not failing because you are not intelligent. You are struggling because listening is a skill, and like every skill, it needs the right training. Many English learners make the same mistake. They think listening means only hearing sound. They press play on a video. They hear English for 10 minutes. Then they feel sad because they did not understand everything. But real listening is not just hearing. Hearing happens in your ears. Listening happens in your brain. Your ears receive the sound, but your brain must turn that sound into meaning. This is the real secret. When someone says a sentence in English, your brain has to catch the sound, recognize the words, connect the words to meaning, understand the message, and sometimes even understand the emotion behind the voice. That is a lot of work. So if you cannot understand fast English yet, it does not mean something is wrong with you. It means your brain needs more training with natural English sound. Think about this simple example. You may know the sentence, "How are you doing?" When you read it, it looks easy. You know every word. How are you doing? But when someone speaks naturally, it may sound like "How are you doing?" The words connect. The sounds become softer. The small words almost disappear. Now your eyes know the sentence, but your ears do not recognize the sound. This is why many learners say, "I know this sentence, but I did not understand it when someone said it." The problem is not always vocabulary. The problem is sound recognition. Your brain has not yet connected the written sentence with the real spoken sound. This is called pattern recognition. Do not worry about the difficult term. It simply means your brain learns by recognizing patterns again and again. When you hear the same sound many times, your brain starts saying, "I know this. I have heard this before." At first, English sounds like noise. Then some words become clear. Then some phrases become clear. Then one day, you hear a sentence and you understand it without translating. That is not magic. That is your brain building a listening pattern. This is why repetition is powerful. This is why daily listening matters. This is why you should not give up after one difficult video. Your brain needs contact with English sound, again and again, until strange sounds become familiar sound. There is another reason listening feels difficult. Your brain has an attention filter. Every moment, many sounds enter your ears, but your brain cannot focus on everything. It chooses what feels important. In your own language, this happens very naturally. You do not listen to every single sound. You catch the important parts. You understand the message. But in English, your brain is still learning what is important, so it may try to catch everything. Every word, every sound, every grammar point, every small detail. And when your brain tries to catch everything, it becomes tired very quickly. This is called cognitive load. It means your brain is carrying too much at the same time. Many learners make listening harder because they try to do 5 things at once. They listen to the sentence. They translate it into their language. They remember grammar rules. They worry about unknown words. They judge themselves. They think, "Why can't I understand?" And while they are thinking all these things, the speaker keeps speaking. This is why one missed word can destroy the whole sentence. Your brain is not only listening, it is fighting. It is translating. It is worrying. It is trying to be perfect. No wonder listening feels heavy. This is also where listening anxiety begins. Listening anxiety means the fear you feel when you cannot understand spoken English. Maybe your heart becomes fast. Maybe your body becomes tense. Maybe your mind says, "Please don't ask me a question. Please don't speak too fast. Please don't make me answer." This fear is real. Many learners feel it. But here is the important truth. Fear does not help listening. Fear steals attention. When you are afraid, your brain focuses on the fear instead of the sound. So the first step to better listening is not a new app. It is not a difficult grammar book. It is calmness. You must tell yourself, "I do not need to understand everything right now. I only need to catch something. I only need to train today." You may be thinking, "But I have studied English for years. Why can I read better than I listen?" The answer is simple. You probably trained your eyes more than your ears. You read lessons. You looked at vocabulary lists. You studied grammar. You watched videos with subtitles. All of that can help, but it mostly trains your eyes. Listening needs ear training. Your ears must meet English again and again. Your brain must connect English sounds directly to meaning. This is called the sound to meaning connection. It means when you hear, "I'm hungry," your brain should not first translate every word. It should feel the meaning directly, just like when you hear it in your own language. That direct connection takes practice. Now let me give you a very important idea. There are two types of listening practice, and you need both. The first one is exposure listening. Exposure listening means you give your brain regular contact with English. You listen while walking. You listen while cleaning your room. You listen while traveling. You listen while making tea. You do not need to understand every sentence. You are simply letting English sound become normal in your life. This kind of listening is powerful because it removes distance. English stops feeling like a school subject and starts feeling like a daily sound. Your brain slowly becomes comfortable with rhythm, pronunciation, tone, and repeated phrases. The second type is active listening. Active listening means you listen with a clear goal. You do not just play English in the background and hope for a miracle. You sit for a short time and train your brain. You listen to one small audio. You ask, "What is the topic?" You listen again and ask, "What words did I catch?" You listen again and check with subtitles or transcript. You repeat useful sentences. You notice the sounds that were difficult. This is where real improvement becomes faster. Exposure listening gives your brain contact. Active listening gives your brain direction. Exposure listening makes English familiar. Active listening makes English clear. When you combine both, your listening starts to grow in a real and balanced way. Please remember this. You do not need to listen for 3 hours every day to improve. You need a method you can repeat. 10 minutes of focused listening every day can be more powerful than 1 hour of confused listening once a week. The goal is not to punish yourself. The goal is to train yourself. A good listening method should make you feel stronger, not smaller. It should make you feel hopeful, not ashamed. If your method makes you hate English, it is not the right method for you. The right method should challenge you, but it should also keep you moving. Imagine a child learning a first language. The child does not understand everything at first. The child hears sounds again and again. The child watches faces. The child connects sound with action. The child repeats small phrases. The child makes mistakes. The child does not say, "I failed because I did not understand every word today." The child continues. This is one reason children improve. They stay close to the language. They do not judge themselves after every sentence. You can learn from that. You are not a baby, but your brain still learns through contact, repetition, meaning, and emotion. So today, I want you to change how you think about listening. Do not say, "My listening is bad." Say, "My listening is training." Do not say, "I cannot understand fast English." Say, "My brain is learning natural English sound." Do not say, "I missed one word, so I failed." Say, "I caught part of the meaning, and tomorrow I will catch more." This small change matters because confidence changes attention. When you feel safe, you listen better. When you feel attacked by English, you close down. When you feel curious, your brain opens. And here is the truth your English teacher may not have told you clearly. You do not need perfect listening to become a confident English speaker. You need growing listening. You need patient listening. You need intelligent listening. You need to train your ears to hear patterns, train your brain to catch meaning, and train your emotions to stay calm when you miss something. Missing words is normal. Feeling confused is normal. Needing repetition is normal. The only thing that is dangerous is quitting because you think you are broken. You are not broken. Your listening is not broken. Your English journey is not finished. You are at the training stage. Every time you listen, your brain receives a little more English. Every time you repeat, your mouth helps your ears. Every time you stay calm, your attention becomes stronger. Every time you listen again, your brain says, I have heard this before. Slowly, English changes from noise into words. Words change into meaning. Meaning changes into confidence. And confidence changes the way you listen forever. Now that you understand this, you are ready for the next powerful lesson. Because, even when your listening is not broken, there is one mistake that can still destroy your understanding very quickly. This mistake is trying to catch every single word. In the next lesson, you will learn why chasing every word makes English feel faster, harder, and more stressful than it really is. And you will learn how to listen for meaning like a confident English learner. Lesson 2. Stop chasing every word. If you want to improve your English listening, one of the first habits you must change is this. Stop chasing every word. I know this may sound strange, because for many years, you may have believed that good listening means understanding every single word. You may think, if I miss one word, I fail. You may think, if I do not understand the full sentence, my listening is weak. But this belief is one of the biggest reasons your listening feels difficult, heavy, and stressful. Many English learners are not failing because the audio is impossible. They are failing because they are trying to listen in a way that the brain cannot handle. They try to catch every word, translate every word, remember every word, and understand every word at the same time. Then English feels too fast. But sometimes English is not too fast. Your listening method is too heavy. Think about what happens when you listen to someone speaking English. The person says a sentence. You hear the first few words. Suddenly, one word sounds unclear. Maybe you do not know it. Maybe you know it, but it sounds different in fast speech. Your mind stops there. It starts asking, what was that word? Did I hear it correctly? What does it mean? Should I translate it? But while your mind is busy fighting with that one word, the speaker does not stop. The speaker continues. Another sentence comes. Then another one. Now you are behind. You missed the next words because your mind was still stuck on the old word. This is the painful trap. One missing word becomes one missing sentence. One missing sentence becomes one lost conversation. Then you feel ashamed and say, my listening is terrible. But the truth is, your brain was not given the right job. The first job of listening is not to catch every word. The first job of listening is to catch meaning. This is called gist listening. Gist means the main idea. It means the overall message. It means understanding what someone is generally talking about before you try to understand every detail. If someone is telling a story about their weekend, you do not need every word at first. You need to know the big idea. Did they go somewhere? Did something good happen? Did something bad happen? Are they happy, tired, angry, or excited? That is gist. When you listen for gist, your brain relaxes because it is not trying to hold every small sound. It is trying to understand the message. This is how strong listeners listen in real life. They do not always catch every word. Even native speakers do not focus on every single sound in every conversation. They listen for key words, context, tone, emotion, and situation. They use the brain like a smart detective. They do not panic when one word disappears. They keep moving. They understand the message from the words they catch and the situation around them. This is what you must learn to do in English. You must stop treating every missed word like a disaster. A missed word is not the end. A missed word is only a small gap. Your job is to keep listening and build meaning around that gap. This is where selective attention becomes important. Selective attention means your brain chooses what to focus on. When you listen to English, you cannot focus on every tiny sound at the same time. If you try, your brain becomes tired, so you must train your attention to focus on the words that carry meaning. In English, the most important words are often nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. These words carry the message. Small grammar words are important too, but in fast speech they are often weak, soft, or connected. So if you miss a small word, do not stop your whole mind. Keep listening for the strong meaning word. For example, imagine you hear this sentence: I've been living in this town near London for years. If you try to catch every word, maybe you get stuck on I've been. Maybe it sounds too fast. Maybe you miss near. But if you catch the words living town, London, and years, you already understand a lot. You understand that the person lives in a town close to London and has lived there for a long time. That is real listening. You did not catch everything, but you caught the meaning. And when your confidence grows, you can listen again and catch more details. But the first goal is meaning, not perfection. Now let me explain two powerful listening processes in a simple way. The first is bottom-up processing. This means you build understanding from sounds, words, phrases, and grammar. You hear a sound. You recognize a word. You connect it to another word. Slowly, you build the sentence. This is important, but if you only use bottom-up listening, you may become too slow because you are trying to build the full meaning from every small piece. The second is top-down processing. This means you use context, situation, background knowledge, and expectation to understand the message. For example, if you are at a restaurant and the waiter says something fast, you can guess the kind of questions they may ask. They may ask what you want to order. They may ask if you want water. They may ask if you are ready. You do not enter the conversation with an empty brain. You use the situation to help your listening. Good listening uses both. Bottom-up processing helps you hear words. Top-down processing helps you understand meaning. Beginners often depend too much on bottom-up processing. They try to catch every sound from zero. That is why they become tired. Confident listeners use both. They listen to the sound, but they also use the topic, the speaker's tone, the place, the situation, and the words they already caught. This makes listening faster and less stressful. You are not cheating when you guess from context. You are listening intelligently. This is also where expectation management matters. You must manage what you expect from yourself. If you expect to understand 100% of every English sentence, you will feel disappointed every day. That expectation is too heavy. A better expectation is this. First, I will understand the topic. Then I will catch key words. Then I will understand details with practice. This is realistic. This is how listening grows. You do not go from confusion to perfect understanding in one jump. You go from noise to topic, from topic to key words, from key words to details, from details to confidence. Now I want to give you a simple method you can use today. I call it the 3-circle listening method. The first circle is the topic circle. When you listen for the first time, ask yourself only one question. What are they talking about? Do not stop the audio. Do not translate. Do not worry about unknown words. Just catch the topic. Maybe they are talking about school, food, travel, work, family, health, shopping, or daily routine. If you catch the topic, you have already started understanding. The second circle is the key word circle. Now listen again and ask, which important words can I hear? Write down only a few words. Do not write the whole sentence. Maybe you hear yesterday market, friend, expensive bus, late, or happy. These words are like lights in a dark room. They help you see the shape of the message. When you collect key words, your brain starts building meaning without needing every small word. The third circle is the detail circle. This is where you listen again for extra information. Now you can ask, what exactly happened? Who did it? When did it happen? Why did it happen? How did the person feel? Details come after the topic and key words. They do not come first. This is very important. Many learners fail because they begin with the detail circle. They want exact understanding from the first second. That creates pressure. Start with the topic, then keywords, then details. This method trains your brain to listen in the right order. Let's use a simple example. Imagine someone says, "Last weekend, I visited my cousin in another city, but the weather was so bad that our train was delayed for 2 hours." The first time, maybe you only understand weekend cousin city, weather train, and 2 hours. That is enough for the first round. You understand the topic, a weekend trip. You catch key words, cousin, city, bad weather, train, delay. Then when you listen again, you can catch the details. Last weekend, another city, train delayed for 2 hours. This is how understanding grows. You do not force your brain to become perfect immediately. You guide it step by step. This lesson is very important because it removes fear from listening. When you stop chasing every word, you stop fighting English. You begin working with your brain instead of against it. You start listening like a confident learner. You give yourself permission to miss small things and still understand the message. This does not make you lazy. It makes you smart. Later, with repetition, you can go back and catch more. But in real conversations, you must keep moving. If someone speaks and you miss one word, do not freeze. Stay with the speaker. Catch the next strong word. Use the situation. Watch the emotion. Listen for the main idea. Keep your mind open. So from today, when you listen to English, do not ask, "Did I understand every word?" Ask better questions. Ask, "What is the topic?" Ask, "What important words did I catch?" Ask, "What is the speaker trying to say?" Ask, "What can I understand from the situation?" These questions will make you calmer. They will make you stronger. They will train your brain to search for meaning instead of chasing perfection. And when your brain searches for meaning, English becomes less frightening and more understandable. Remember this deeply. A strong listener is not the person who catches every word. A strong listener is the person who catches the message and keeps going. You do not need to understand everything to improve. You need to understand something, then build from there. That is progress. That is real training. That is how your listening becomes faster, clearer, and more confident. Now you know why chasing every word makes English feel harder than it really is. But there is another secret problem that many learners do not understand. Sometimes you know the words, but you still cannot recognize them when people speak. Why does this happen? Because real spoken English often sounds very different from written English. In the next lesson, you will learn why English words connect, disappear, become softer, and sound faster. And once you understand this, real English will finally start making more sense. Lesson 3. Real English sounds different. Maybe you have had this painful experience before. You read an English sentence and you understand it easily. You know every word. You know the grammar. You feel confident. But then someone says the same sentence naturally, and suddenly it feels like a completely different language. You think, wait, I know these words. Why didn't I understand them? This is one of the most frustrating moments for English learners. It makes you feel confused because your eyes understand English, but your ears do not catch it. You may think the speaker is too fast. You may think your listening is very weak, but the truth is deeper than that. Real spoken English sounds different from written English. The words on the page are clean, separate, and easy to see. But the words in real speech are connected, reduced, stressed, softened, changed, and sometimes almost hidden. This is why you can know a word, but still fail to recognize it when someone speaks. Your problem is not always vocabulary. Sometimes your problem is sound recognition. You have learned the written shape of the word, but your brain has not yet learned the spoken shape of the word. For example, you may know going to very well. You have seen it many times. But when someone says, "I'm gonna call you later," your brain may not immediately connect gonna with going to. You may know want to, but when you hear wanta, it feels like a new word. You may know did you, but when someone says did ya, your ears become confused. This is not because you are bad at English. This is because natural English has sound patterns, and your ears need training to recognize them. Let's start with connected speech. Connected speech means words join together when people speak naturally. In real life, native and fluent speakers do not speak like a vocabulary list. They do not separate every word clearly. They connect words because speech needs rhythm and flow. How are you may sound like how are ya. What do you want may sound like what I want. Can I have it may sound like can I have it. At first, this feels unfair to learners because the English in books looks one way, but the English in real life sounds another way. But once you understand connected speech, you stop blaming yourself. You start training your ears. Now let's talk about reduction. Reduction means a word or phrase becomes shorter, softer, or quicker in normal speech. This happens all the time. Going to becomes gonna. Want to becomes wanna. Have to becomes hafta. Let me becomes lemme. Kind of becomes kinda. Out of becomes outa. These forms are very common in casual English. You do not need to force yourself to speak like this all the time, especially if you want clear English. But you must learn to recognize them when listening. If you do not recognize reductions, real English will always sound faster than it really is. Weak forms are also very important. In English, small words often become weak. Words like to, for, of, and, can, and the are often not stressed. They may sound very short or very soft. For example, I want to go may sound like I wanna go. A cup of tea may sound like a cup of tea. Fish and chips may sound like fish and chips. The small words are still there, but they are not strong. This is why trying to catch every word can make you tired. In spoken English, not every word has the same power. Some words carry the meaning. Other words help the grammar, but they may sound weak. This brings us to sentence stress. Sentence stress means some words in a sentence are spoken more strongly than others. English has a beat. The important words often sound louder, longer, or clearer. These are usually nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. For example, in the sentence I bought a new phone yesterday, the words bought, new phone, and yesterday may carry the main stress. If you catch those words, you understand the message even if you miss small words. This is why your listening improves when you stop chasing every word and start catching the strong word. The strong words are like pillars holding the sentence. Intonation is the music of English. It is the rise and fall of the voice. A speaker can say the same words with different intonation and create different feelings. Really can show surprise. Really can show doubt or seriousness. You're coming can sound excited, confused, or angry depending on the voice. Listening is not only words. Listening is emotion. If you only listen for vocabulary, you miss the feeling. But when you listen for intonation, you understand more than words. You understand attitude, mood, and intention. This is very important for real conversations. Rhythm is another reason English feels fast. English is often stress-timed. This means the stressed words create the beat, and the small words move quickly between them. That is why a long sentence can feel very fast. The speaker may spend more energy on the important words, and rush through the smaller words. For learners, this can sound like missing words. But for fluent listeners, it sounds normal because their brain listens to the rhythm, not only the individual words. Your goal is not to fight the rhythm. Your goal is to become familiar with it. Accent variation also matters. English is spoken by people from many countries and regions. British English, American English, Australian English, Indian English, Pakistani English, African English, and many other varieties may sound different. Even inside one country, people speak with different accents. At first, this may feel scary. You may understand one teacher clearly, but when another person speaks, you feel lost. This does not mean your listening disappeared. It means your brain is used to one sound pattern, and now it needs exposure to another sound pattern. Slowly, with variety, your brain becomes flexible. Now let's add two more useful terms: assimilation and elision. Assimilation means a sound changes because of the sound near it. For example, did you may sound like did ya. Would you may sound like would ya. The sounds come together and change. Elision means a sound disappears in fast or natural speech. For example, next day may sound like next day. That can become very weak or disappear. These things happen because speakers want speech to flow easily. When you learn this, real English becomes less mysterious. You start saying, "Oh, the word did not disappear. It changed. The sound became connected." Now I want to give you a simple technique. I call it the sound reality method. First, see the written phrase. Second, hear the natural sound. Third, repeat the natural sound. Fourth, use it in your own sentence. For example, look at the phrase, "What do you want to do?" Then listen to the natural version. "What do you want to do?" Then repeat it slowly. "What do you want to do? What do you want to do?" Then create your own sentence. "What do you want to eat? What do you want to eat?" You are not only memorizing, you are building auditory mapping. Auditory mapping means your brain connects the sound you hear with the meaning you already know. When your brain hears wanna, it maps it to want to. When it hears gonna, it maps it to going to. When it hears deja, it maps it to did you. This is how listening becomes faster. At first, you need to think. Later, after enough practice, you understand automatically. This is called automatic recognition. It means your brain recognizes the sound without slow translation. That is one of the biggest goals of listening practice. You also need prediction. Prediction means your brain guesses what may come next based on the situation. If someone says, "I'm gonna," your brain may expect an action. Go, call, eat, sleep, start, or try. If you are at a restaurant and someone says, "Would you like?" your brain expects food, water, tea, coffee, or a menu. Prediction does not mean you are pretending to understand. It means your brain is using context intelligently. Strong listeners predict all the time. They do not wait helplessly for every word. They use the situation, the topic, the speaker's tone, and the words they already know. This is why phonological awareness is so important. Phonological awareness means noticing the sounds of a language. not just the spelling, not just the meaning, the sound. You begin to notice that going to changes in fast speech. You notice that some words are stressed and some are weak. You notice that the voice rises or falls. You notice that an accent changes the shape of a word. This awareness makes you calmer because you finally understand what is happening. Real English is not attacking you. Real English has patterns, so please do not feel ashamed when you cannot understand fast English yet. Most learners were trained with textbook English first. Textbook English is clean. Real English is alive. It moves, it connects, it breathes. It changes with emotion, speed, accent, and rhythm. You are not stupid because you cannot catch it immediately. You simply need to train your ears for real English, not only written English. The more you listen to natural phrases, repeat them, and connect them with meaning, the more your brain will recognize them. From today, when you hear fast English, do not immediately say, "I cannot understand." Instead, ask, which words are connected? Which words are reduced? Which words are stressed? What is the rhythm? What is the speaker's emotion? These questions turn you from a scared listener into a smart listener. You stop feeling helpless. You start noticing patterns. And when you notice patterns, you begin to understand more. Now you know why real English sounds different from written English. But knowing this is not enough. Many learners know the problem, but they still listen passively. They play English in the background and hope their listening will magically improve. In the next lesson, you will learn how to listen actively, how to train your brain with a clear goal, and how to turn even a short piece of audio into powerful listening practice. Lesson 4: Active listening actually works. Now that you understand why real English sounds different, you need to learn one of the most powerful truths about listening. Just hearing English is not always enough. Many learners play English videos for hours. They listen while eating, walking, scrolling, or lying in bed. But after many weeks, they still feel the same problem. They still cannot understand real conversations. They still need subtitles. They still feel nervous when someone speaks fast. Then they ask, "Why am I not improving? I listen every day." The answer is simple but very important. You may be hearing English, but you may not be actively listening to English. Passive listening gives your ears contact with English, but active listening trains your brain to understand English. Passive listening means English is playing, but your mind is not fully present. Your ears hear sounds, but your brain does not have a clear job. Maybe you are listening while doing something else. Maybe your mind is thinking about your day. Maybe you understand a few words and miss many others. Passive listening is not useless. It can help your brain become familiar with English rhythm, pronunciation, and common phrases. But if you only use passive listening, your improvement may be slow. It is like walking past a gym every day and hoping your body becomes strong. You are near the training, but you are not doing the exercise. Active listening is different. Active listening means you listen with intention. Intention means you know why you are listening before you press play. You are not just saying, "I hope I understand." You are saying, "This time I will catch the topic," or "This time I will listen for 5 key words," or "This time I will notice connected speech," or "This time I will repeat 3 useful sentences." This small change is powerful because your brain works better when it has a clear target. When your brain knows what to search for, listening becomes more focused, more organized, and less frightening. So let me give you a simple 5-step active listening system that you can use today. Step 1. Choose short audio. Do not start with a full movie, a long podcast, or a fast interview. For beginners and intermediate learners, even 30 seconds to 2 minutes can be enough. A short audio is not a small thing. It is a training ground. When the audio is short, you can repeat it, study it, and feel progress. Step 2. Listen once for the topic. Do not stop. Do not translate. Do not panic. Just ask, what are they talking about? If you catch only the general idea, that is already success. Your first listening is not for perfection. It is for direction. Step 3. Mark the difficult moment. If you are watching a video, notice the timestamp. If you are listening to audio, pause after the part that felt unclear and remember where it happened. Do not write every word. Do not stop every 3 seconds. Just mark the moment that confused you. This keeps your listening smooth and stops you from destroying the flow. Step 4. Listen again and guess. This is very important. Many learners are afraid to guess because they think guessing means failure. But guessing is not failure. Guessing is brain training. When you guess, your brain uses context clues. Context clues are the words before and after the unclear part, the topic, the situation, and the speaker's emotion. A smart listener does not wait helplessly for every word. A smart listener uses clues. Step 5. Check with subtitles or a transcript. Now you can see what you missed. Maybe the word was familiar, but the sound was reduced. Maybe 2 words were connected. Maybe the speaker used an expression. This checking step creates a feedback loop. A feedback loop means you listen, guess, check, correct yourself, and listen again. This is how your brain learns. It sees the difference between what it heard and what was actually said. Then when you listen again, your brain says, "Ah, now I recognize it." This is confidence reinforcement. Every time your brain recognizes something it missed before, your confidence becomes stronger. There is also another part of active listening that many English learners forget. Active listening is not only for videos and podcasts, it is also for real conversations. When someone speaks to you in English, do not only listen to the words. Listen with your whole attention. Look at the speaker if you can. Notice their face, their emotion, their hands, their tone, and the situation. If they look excited, their words may carry good news. If they look worried, they may be explaining a problem. If you miss one word, their body language and tone can help you understand the message. Listening is not only sound. Listening is meaning, emotion, and connection. In conversation, active listening also means you respond. You do not need perfect English to show that you are listening. You can use small phrases like, "I see, that makes sense. Really, I understand. Can you say that again?" Or, "Do you mean this?" These small responses are powerful. They keep the conversation alive. They give you time. They show the other person that you are present. And they reduce fear because you are not silently suffering. You are participating. You are not just a student hiding behind your nervousness. You are a real listener inside a real conversation. This is also where metacognition becomes useful. Metacognition means thinking about your own thinking. In listening, it means you start noticing your own process. You ask yourself, did I miss the topic or only a few words? Did I panic too early? Did I translate too much? Did I use context? Did I listen again? These questions do not punish you. They guide you. They help you become your own coach. A beginner says, I did not understand, so I failed. A smart learner says, what exactly did I miss, and what can I train next? That difference can change your whole English journey. So remember this deeply. 10 minutes of active listening can be more powerful than 1 hour of lazy listening. You do not need to attack yourself with difficult English all day. You need focused practice that your brain can actually use. Listen with a goal. Catch the topic. Mark the hard part. Guess from context. Check the answer. Listen again. Repeat useful sentences. Then, carry 1 or 2 phrases into your real life. This is how English moves from the video into your mind, and from your mind into your mouth. Now you know how active listening actually works. But there is one tool that can either help you or secretly hold you back. Many learners depend on it every day. It makes English feel easier, but it can also make your ears lazy if you use it the wrong way. In the next lesson, you will learn how to use subtitles correctly, so they become your teacher instead of your crutch. Lesson 5. Use subtitles the right way. Subtitles can feel like a friend when you are learning English. When subtitles are on, you feel safe. You can follow the sentence. You can see the words. You can understand the story. But when subtitles are off, suddenly everything becomes difficult again. The same video that felt clear becomes confusing. The same speaker that felt easy becomes fast. The same sentence that you understood with your eyes disappears through your ears. And then a painful question comes into your mind. You ask yourself, do I really understand English, or am I only reading English? If you have ever felt this, do not feel ashamed. Many learners have the same problem. Subtitles are useful, but if you use them in the wrong way, they can secretly make your ears lazy. The problem is not subtitles themselves. Subtitles are not bad. Transcripts are not bad. Reading while listening can be very helpful. The real problem is over-reliance. Over-reliance means depending on something too much. If you always use subtitles, your eyes become strong, but your ears may stay weak. Your eyes read the sentence quickly, and your brain understands from the text. But the ear does not work hard enough to recognize the natural sound. So later, when the subtitles disappear, your brain feels lost. It is like riding a bicycle with training wheels forever. Training wheels help at the beginning, but if you never remove them, you never learn balance. Subtitles should be your teacher, not your permanent support. Now here is the correct way to use subtitles. I call it the 3-round subtitle method. In round 1, listen without subtitles. This may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is necessary. Your goal is not to understand everything. Your goal is to train your ears first. Listen and ask only simple questions. What is the topic? What words can I catch? What is the speaker's emotion? Do you remember? Do not pause every second. Do not translate every word. Do not panic. This first round is called retrieval practice. Retrieval practice means you try to bring understanding from your own brain before checking the answer. When you try first, your brain becomes active. It searches, it guesses, it pays attention. This is real training. In round 2, turn the subtitles on. Now you check what you missed. This is where learning becomes powerful. Maybe you heard a sound but did not know the word. Maybe you knew the word, but it sounded different. Maybe 2 words were connected. Maybe going to sounded like gonna. Maybe want to sounded like wanna. Maybe did you sounded like didya. Subtitles help you connect the sound with the written form. This is called dual coding. Dual coding means your brain learns through 2 channels, sound and text. You hear the sentence and you see the sentence. When these 2 come together, your brain builds a stronger connection. In round 3, turn the subtitles off again and listen one more time. This is the most important round, and many learners skip it. They listen without subtitles, feel confused, turn subtitles on, understand the text, and then stop. But stopping there trains your reading more than your listening. You must go back and listen again without text. Now your ears have a second chance. Your brain has already seen the answer, so the sound becomes clearer. You may think, "Oh, now I can hear it." That moment is powerful. That is ear training. Ear training means teaching your brain to recognize the real spoken sound without needing the written sentence in front of you. Let's use a simple example. Suppose the speaker says, "I'm gonna have lunch." In round 1, without subtitles, you may only hear something like, "I'm have lunch." You miss the middle. You feel confused. In round 2, subtitles show you, "I'm gonna have lunch." Now you realize, gonna means going to. In round 3, without subtitles, you listen again. This time your brain recognizes the sound. You hear gonna more clearly because your brain has mapped the sound to the meaning. This is error correction. Error correction means your brain compares what it heard with what was actually said, then fixes the mistake. This is how listening improves. You can also use transcripts in the same smart way. If you are listening to a podcast, an audiobook, or an English lesson, do not read the transcript first every time. Listen first. Try to catch the topic. Then read the transcript. Underline useful phrases. Notice the words that sounded different from how they look. Then listen again while following the transcript. Finally, close the transcript and listen again. This method turns a transcript into a training tool. It does not let your eyes do all the work forever. It uses your eyes to help your ears become stronger. This is very important for English learners because many of you love stories, lessons, and meaningful English content. You may watch videos with subtitles and feel proud because you understand everything. That is good, but I want you to ask a deeper question. Did your ears understand, or did only your eyes understand? If your ears did not understand yet, do not feel bad. Just train them. Use subtitles as a bridge. First the ears try, then the eyes help. Then the ears try again. This simple order can change everything. And please remember, you do not need to remove subtitles forever. Sometimes subtitles are helpful. If the topic is difficult, use them. If the accent is new, use them. If you are tired, use them. If you are learning new vocabulary, use them. But do not let subtitles become a hiding place. Do not use them because you are afraid to test your ears. Your ears need chances to work. They need moments of struggle. They need moments of guessing. They need moments of correction. That is how they become strong. So from today, do not just watch English with subtitles. Train with subtitles. There is a big difference. Watching with subtitles can make you comfortable. Training with subtitles can make you powerful. Listen first without help. Then check with text. Then listen again without help. Repeat useful sentences. Notice connected speech. Notice weak forms. Notice sentence stress. Notice the rhythm. Slowly, your ears will stop feeling blind. They will start recognizing the sounds that used to disappear. Subtitles are not your enemy. They are also not your final destination. They are a temporary teacher. Use them wisely, and they will help you understand more. Depend on them forever, and they may keep you stuck. Your goal is not to throw subtitles away in one day. Your goal is to use them in a way that makes your ears stronger every week. And when your ears become stronger, you will feel something beautiful. You will watch a sentence without subtitles and say, "I understood that." That small moment can give you more confidence than 100 grammar rules. Now you know how to use subtitles the right way. But listening once, even with a good method, is not enough. Your brain needs to meet the same sounds again. At the same time, it also needs fresh English so it does not become bored. In the next lesson, you will learn how to repeat without getting tired, how to keep moving without losing progress, and how to use repetition and new material together to make your listening grow faster. Lesson 6. Repeat, but keep moving. Now that you know how to use subtitles the right way, you need to understand another powerful truth about listening. Your brain does not usually understand spoken English deeply after hearing it only one time. One listen is not enough. Many learners press play once, miss half of the audio, feel disappointed, and then say, "My listening is bad." But that is not a fair test. Your brain needs to meet the same sounds again. It needs repetition. It needs another chance. It needs time to recognize the rhythm, the connected words, the weak sounds, and the meaning. But here is the other side. If you repeat the same audio too many times, again and again, until you feel bored and tired, your brain may stop paying attention. So the secret is balance. Repeat, but keep moving. Some learners make the first mistake. They never repeat. They watch one video today, another video tomorrow, another podcast next week, and another movie after that. They jump from one thing to another, but they never stay long enough for the brain to build strong listening patterns. This kind of practice feels busy, but it may not create deep progress. Other learners make the second mistake. They repeat one audio 20 times in one sitting. At first, they learn something, but after a while, their mind becomes tired. The audio becomes boring. The brain stops noticing new things. Then English feels like punishment. You do not need that. You need repetition with life inside it. You need enough repetition to learn, and enough new material to stay awake. This is where spaced repetition becomes important. Spaced repetition means meeting the same sound, word, phrase, or sentence again after some time. You do not need to force everything into your brain in one day. You can listen today, listen again tomorrow, and meet the same phrase next week in another video. This is how the brain learns naturally. It sees or hears something. It forgets a little. Then it meets it again. Then it becomes stronger. When you hear, "I'm gonna," "let me," "kind of," or "what do you think," many times in different situations, your brain slowly says, "I know this sound." This is how English moves from strange to familiar. But your brain also needs novelty. Novelty means something fresh, something new, something slightly different. If you only listen to the exact same audio for too long, your attention becomes weak. The brain likes patterns, but it also likes fresh information. New voices, new topics, new stories, and new examples wake the brain up. This is called the novelty effect. When something feels fresh, your attention becomes stronger. So do not trap yourself in one audio forever. Take value from it. Repeat it enough, then move forward. Your listening journey should not feel like a prison. It should feel like a road. Let me give you a simple technique. I call it the repeat and release method. First, listen to the audio once to catch the story or general idea. Do not stop too much. Do not attack yourself. Just ask, "What is this about?" Second, listen again and catch key words. Write down a few strong words that carry meaning. Third, check the subtitles or transcript if you need help. Notice what you missed. Notice connected speech. Notice weak forms. Notice the words that sounded different from how they looked. Fourth, repeat 3 to 5 useful sentences. Say them slowly. Copy the rhythm, copy the stress, copy the feeling, then release the audio. Move on. You do not need to master every second perfectly before you continue. Take the lesson, then keep growing. This method is powerful because it protects your motivation. Motivation design means designing your practice in a way that makes you continue. Many learners fail, not because they are lazy, but because their method is too heavy. If your method makes you tired every day, you will quit. If your method makes you feel small every day, you will quit. If your method is too long, too boring, or too difficult, you will quit. A smart method makes practice easy to start and satisfying to finish. That is why short, repeated listening is so powerful. It gives your brain training, and it gives your heart a small win. Now let's connect this with habit psychology. A habit loop has 3 parts: cue, routine, and reward. The cue is the signal that tells you to start. The routine is the action you take. The reward is the good feeling after you finish. For example, your cue can be morning tea. Every time you make tea, you play 2 minutes of English. Your routine is listening and repeating 1 sentence. Your reward is saying, "I trained my English today." This may look small, but small habits are strong because they are easy to repeat. Your listening does not improve from 1 heroic day. It improves from many normal days. You also need 2 daily modes: soft listening and deep listening. Soft listening means you listen while doing something simple. You listen while walking, cleaning, cooking, traveling, exercising, or waiting. You do not force yourself to understand everything. You let English live around you. This builds familiarity. It makes English sound less strange. It gives your brain more contact with rhythm, tone, and repeated phrases. Soft listening is gentle, but it is not useless. It tells your brain, English is part of my life now. Deep listening is different. Deep listening means you give full attention for a short time. 10 minutes can be enough. You choose one small audio. You listen for the topic. You listen again for key words. You check the text. You repeat useful sentences. This is where your brain works more actively. This is where your ear becomes sharper. This is where you notice details. Soft listening builds comfort. Deep listening builds skill. When you use both, your listening becomes stronger from two sides. Here is a realistic daily routine. In the morning, while walking or making breakfast, do 5 to 10 minutes of soft listening. Do not worry if you miss many words. Just let English enter your day. Later, maybe in the evening, do 10 minutes of deep listening. Choose one short clip. Listen, check, repeat, and release. Before sleep, repeat 3 sentences calmly. That is enough. You do not need a perfect study room. You do not need 3 free hours. You need a routine your real life can accept. Every time you repeat, your brain builds a neural pathway. A neural pathway is like a small road in the brain. At first, the road is weak and difficult to use. But when you practice again and again, the road becomes stronger. Later, understanding becomes faster. This is called automaticity. Automaticity means you do not need to think so hard. You hear a phrase and understand it quickly. You hear, "I'm gonna," and your brain knows it. You hear, "What do you mean?" and you feel the meaning. You hear, "Let me tell you something," and you understand without translating word by word. This is the dream, and repetition builds it. So please do not punish yourself with boring practice. Listening should not make you hate English. It should make English more familiar, more friendly, and more possible. Repeat enough to learn. Move on enough to stay alive. Give your brain patterns. Give your brain freshness. Give your heart small wins. You are not trying to become perfect today. You are building a listener inside yourself. One sound, one sentence, one day at a time. Now you know how to repeat without getting stuck, and how to keep moving without losing progress. But there is one more important question. What should you actually listen to? Because if you choose audio that is too hard, you will feel defeated. If you choose audio that is too easy, you may not grow. In the next lesson, you will learn how to choose the right listening material, so English becomes understandable, enjoyable, and truly useful for your life. Lesson 7. Choose the right audio. Now that you understand repetition, subtitles, active listening, and the real sound of English, you need to learn one more powerful lesson. What you listen to matters. Many learners work hard, but they choose the wrong audio. They open a fast movie. They play a difficult podcast. They listen to a group of native speakers, joking, laughing, interrupting each other, and using slang. Then after 2 minutes, they feel completely lost. Their heart becomes heavy. Their confidence goes down. They say, "My listening is terrible." But maybe your listening is not terrible. Maybe the audio is simply too hard for your current level. If you give a beginner swimmer a deep ocean, the problem is not the swimmer's courage. The problem is the place. In the same way, if you give your beginner English brain very fast, advanced, unclear audio, you are not training yourself. You are hurting your confidence. This is why choosing the right audio is not a small thing. It is one of the biggest secrets of improving your English listening skills fast. You cannot grow from audio that is impossible. If you understand almost nothing, your brain has no strong meaning to hold. The sound becomes noise. You may hear English for 30 minutes, but your brain cannot build enough connections because the message is not clear. At the same time, if the audio is too easy, you may feel comfortable, but you may not grow much. You need the middle place. You need audio that is understandable enough to follow, but challenging enough to teach you something new. This is where the 50-90 rule can help you. If you understand less than 50% of the audio, it is probably too difficult for daily listening practice. You may still listen to it sometimes for fun or exposure, but do not use it as your main training material. If you understand more than 90%, it may be too easy. It can be good for confidence, repetition, and fluency, but it may not push your listening much. The best listening material is often between 50 and 90% understandable. That means you can understand the general meaning, but there are still new words, new sounds, new phrases, or new accents to learn. This is the sweet spot. This is where your brain feels challenged, but not destroyed. This idea connects with something called comprehensible input. Do not be afraid of the term. Comprehensible input simply means English that you can understand enough to learn from. Your brain learns language better when the message makes sense. If the audio is full of unknown words, unclear sounds, and unfamiliar topics, your brain struggles. But if the audio is meaningful, interesting, and slightly above your level, your brain starts learning naturally. This also connects with the input hypothesis, which says learners grow when they receive language input that is understandable, but a little challenging. In simple words, do not choose baby-level English forever, and do not choose impossible English too early. Choose English that stretches you without breaking you. For beginners, the best audio should be clear, short, and emotionally easy to follow. Slow English stories are excellent because they give you meaning, emotion, and repeated sentence patterns. Short dialogues are also powerful because they show real-life conversation in small pieces. Children's audiobooks can help because the language is often simple and the story gives you context. Beginner podcasts are useful when the speaker talks clearly and explains ideas slowly. English learning channels like Bookish English are also perfect because they speak directly to learners and use simple English with motivation, examples, and emotional connection. At the beginner level, your goal is not to impress anyone. Your goal is to build your listening foundation. For intermediate learners, you can start adding more natural materials. You can listen to interviews where people speak clearly. You can listen to daily conversation podcasts. You can use audiobooks with text, so you can listen first and then check the words. You can listen to news made for learners because it gives real topics with clearer language. Short documentary clips can also be useful because the visuals help your brain understand the topic. You can also read the text before or after listening, especially if the topic is new. At the intermediate level, your goal is to move from classroom English to real-world English, but in a controlled way. You are not throwing yourself into chaos. You are building strength step by step. For advanced learners, you can slowly move into harder material. Movies, TV shows, fast podcasts, street interviews, group conversations, and phone call style listening are all useful. But even advanced learners should choose wisely. Movies can be hard because of background music, jokes, slang, accents, and fast emotional speech. Group conversations can be hard because people interrupt each other. Phone calls can be hard because you cannot see the speaker's face. Street interviews can be hard because people speak naturally, quickly, and sometimes unclearly. These are good challenges, but they should come after you have built a strong base. Do not use advanced material to prove your level. Use it to train your next level. Another powerful idea is interest-based learning. Your brain pays more attention when the topic matters to you. If you love stories, listen to stories. If you love business, listen to business conversations. If you love cooking, listen to recipe videos. If you love travel, listen to travel vlogs. If you love self-improvement, listen to motivational English. Interest gives your brain energy. When you care about the topic, you stay longer. You listen again. You want to understand. This is why boring audio kills progress. If the material feels dead to you, your attention becomes weak. Choose English that makes you curious. Schema activation is another important listening secret. Schema means the knowledge already stored in your mind. When you know something about a topic, it becomes easier to understand English about that topic. For example, if you already know about football, a football podcast will be easier than a science lecture. If you already know how restaurants work, restaurant conversations become easier. Your background knowledge helps your listening. It gives your brain a map. This is why you should not always choose random audio. Choose topics connected to your life first, then slowly expand. Context familiarity also matters. If the situation is familiar, your brain can predict what people might say. At an airport, you expect questions about passports, tickets, bags, seats, and boarding. At a restaurant, you expect questions about food, drinks, orders, bills, and tables. At a shop, you expect questions about price, size, color, and payment. This makes listening easier because your brain is not starting from zero. It can use the situation to understand the language. So if you want practical listening, choose real-life situations that you actually need. Please remember this emotional truth. Choosing simple audio does not mean you are weak. It means you are wise. A smart learner does not start with the hardest material and then cry. A smart learner chooses the right level, builds confidence, and then moves forward. Your English listening is like a muscle. If the weight is too heavy, you get injured. If the weight is too light, you do not grow. You need the right weight. You need the right audio. So from today, before you press play, ask yourself 4 questions. Do I enjoy this topic? Can I understand the general meaning? Is it connected to my level or my life? Can I repeat a small part of it without feeling destroyed? If the answer is yes, that audio can help you. If the answer is no, choose something better. There is no shame in choosing better material. Your goal is not to suffer. Your goal is to improve. Now you know how to choose the right listening material. You know that your brain needs understandable English, interesting English, useful English, and slowly challenging English. But knowledge alone will not change your listening. You need a plan. You need a simple daily system that fits your real life. In the final lesson, you will learn your complete listening transformation plan. A clear routine that can help you turn listening from a struggle into a daily habit. Lesson 8, your listening transformation plan. Now we have reached the final lesson, and this is where everything comes together. You have learned that your listening is not broken. You have learned that you should stop chasing every word. You have learned that real spoken English sounds different from written English. You have learned about connected speech, weak forms, reductions, sentence stress, intonation, rhythm, and accents. You have learned that active listening is more powerful than just hearing English in the background. You have learned how to use subtitles the right way. You have learned how to repeat without getting bored, and how to choose the right audio for your level. But now comes the most important question. What will you do with all this knowledge after this video ends? Because knowledge alone will not improve your listening, and your mother's merely a light. A plan will. A daily system will. A small habit repeated again and again will. This final lesson is your listening transformation plan. And if you follow it honestly, patiently, and consistently, your ears will become stronger, your brain will become faster, and your confidence will slowly become real. Many learners watch videos like this and feel excited for one day. They say, "Yes, I will improve my English listening now." Then the next day, life becomes busy. Work comes, study comes, family comes, tiredness comes. The learner forgets the plan. After 1 week, nothing changes. After 1 month, they feel the same pain again. They still need subtitles. They still feel nervous when someone speaks fast. They still say, "I cannot understand English." This is why you do not only need motivation. You need a routine. Motivation starts the journey, but routine carries you when motivation becomes weak. You cannot depend on feeling excited every day. You need a simple plan that works even on normal days. So here is your first powerful idea. Do not make listening practice too big. If you make it too big, your brain will resist it. If you say, "I will listen for 2 hours every day," maybe you will do it for one day, but then you may stop. A better plan is small, clear, and repeatable. This is called habit stacking. Habit stacking means you attach a new habit to something you already do. For example, you already drink tea, you already walk, you already travel, you already clean your room, you already sit with your phone at night. Attach English listening to one of those actions. When you make tea, play one short English audio. When you walk, listen to one story. When you clean, listen to one conversation. When you sit at night, repeat 3 sentences. You are not trying to create a new life from zero. You are adding English to the life you already have. Now let me give you the daily formula. You can use this formula even if you are busy. 5 minutes of soft listening, 10 minutes of active listening, 5 minutes of repeating or shadowing. That is only 20 minutes. If you are very busy, do only 10 minutes, but do it honestly. 10 honest minutes every day is more powerful than one big session once a week. In the 5 minutes of soft listening, you simply let English enter your day. You listen while walking, cooking, cleaning, or traveling. You do not worry about every word. You let your brain become familiar with English rhythm and sound. In the 10 minutes of active listening, you sit with one short audio and give full attention. You listen for the topic. You listen for key words. You check with subtitles or transcript. You notice what was difficult. In the final 5 minutes, you repeat or shadow 3 to 5 sentences. This connects your ears, your mouth, and your confidence. This daily formula builds what we call an identity-based habit. This means you do not only say, "I am practicing listening." You start saying, "I am the kind of person who listens to English every day." That identity is powerful. When you believe you are becoming an English listener, the habit becomes part of who you are. You stop treating English as a temporary task. You start treating it as part of your daily life. A person who listens every day does not need to be perfect. They just need to return every day. Even if yesterday was weak, today they return. Even if they missed many words, today they return. Even if the audio felt hard, today they return with a calmer mind. Now let me give you your 7-day listening plan. On day 1, your goal is just listening. Choose one short audio and listen without stopping. Do not try to understand every word. At the end, say or write one sentence about the topic. Maybe you say, "This audio is about a man going to work," or "This story is about a girl learning English." That is enough for day 1. You are training your brain to catch the big meaning first. On day 2, your goal is key words. Listen to the same audio or a similar one and write 5 important words. Do not write full sentences. Just catch the words that carry meaning. This trains selective attention. On day 3, your goal is subtitles or transcript training. Listen first without subtitles, then listen with subtitles, then listen again without subtitles. This is the 3-round subtitle method. Your ears try first. Your eyes help second. Your ears train again third. On day 4, your goal is repeat practice. Choose 5 sentences from the audio. Repeat them slowly. Copy the rhythm. Copy the stress. Copy the feeling. Do not speak like a robot. Speak like a real person. On day 5, your goal is shadowing. Choose 3 short sentences and speak with the speaker almost at the same time. If it is too fast, slow it down. Your goal is not speed first. Your goal is rhythm, sound, and confidence. On day 6, your goal is real voice practice. Listen to a different speaker, a different accent, or a slightly different topic. Do not panic if it feels harder. Your brain is learning flexibility. Maybe you listen to a British speaker, an American speaker, an Indian speaker, or a non-native English speaker. Remember, real English belongs to the world. You need many voices, not only one perfect teacher voice. On day 7, your goal is speak back practice. After listening, explain the audio in your own simple English. You can say, "This audio was about." Then explain 3 ideas. This is powerful because you turn listening into speaking. You prove to your brain that English is not only something you receive, it is something you can use. Now you may ask, how long will it take before I improve? Let me answer honestly and realistically. After 7 days, you may not understand every movie or every fast speaker, but you should feel more organized. You should know what to do when you listen. You should feel less panic because you now have a method. After 2 weeks, if you practice daily, you may begin to catch more repeated phrases. You may notice words like gonna, wanna, let me, I think, you know, and what do you mean more easily. After 30 days, you should feel a clear change in your listening confidence. You may still miss words, but you will not freeze as quickly. You will catch topics faster. You will understand slow and clear English with more comfort. You will also become better at using subtitles as a tool instead of depending on them completely. After 60 days, if you keep using soft listening and deep listening together, your brain should recognize more natural sound patterns. Connected speech will feel less strange. Different voices will feel less scary. You will begin to understand more without translating every word. After 90 days, your listening can feel very different from today. Not perfect, not magic, but stronger, more stable, more confident. You may notice that videos you found difficult before now feel easier. You may understand more of a podcast, more of a story, more of a conversation, and more of a speaker's emotion. After 6 months, if you stay consistent, English listening can become part of your identity. You will no longer feel like English is always attacking you. You will feel that English is becoming familiar. After 1 year, the difference can be huge because small daily listening becomes hundreds of hours of contact with English. 1 year of consistent listening can change your ears, your brain, and your confidence. But please understand something important. Improvement is not always a straight line. Some days you will understand more. Some days you will feel tired and understand less. Some accents will feel easy. Some accents will feel difficult. Some topics will feel clear. Some topics will confuse you. That does not mean you are going backward. That means you are meeting real English. Real English has variety. Your job is not to panic. Your job is to continue. This is called the consistency effect. Small actions repeated over time create a result that one big action cannot create. You also need emotional rewards. After every listening practice, do not only say, "I missed many words." Say, "I trained today." Say, "I caught the topic." Say, "I recognized one new phrase." Say, "I listened without quitting." These small emotional rewards matter because they make your brain want to continue. If you punish yourself after every practice, your brain will avoid English. But if you reward effort and progress, your brain will come back. This creates the confidence loop. You practice a little. You understand a little more. That small understanding gives confidence. Confidence helps you relax. Relaxation helps you listen better. Better listening gives more confidence. This loop can change your whole English journey. Another powerful term is self-efficacy. It means the belief that your actions can improve your ability. Many learners do not lack intelligence. They lack self-efficacy. They secretly believe, "No matter what I do, I will not improve." This belief is dangerous because it kills action. But when you follow a simple plan and see small results, your belief changes. You begin to say, "When I listen with a method, I understand more. When I repeat, I recognize sounds better. When I stay calm, I catch the meaning." This belief gives you power. It tells you that your future listening is not fixed. It can grow. So let's wrap up everything in one clear message. Your listening is not broken. You do not need to understand every word. Real English sounds different because words connect, reduce, weaken, and move with rhythm. Active listening trains your brain better than passive hearing. Subtitles can help you if you use them in the right order. Repetition builds recognition, but new material keeps your brain awake. The right audio matters because your brain needs English that is understandable, interesting, and slightly challenging. And finally, a simple daily plan turns all these ideas into real progress. Now I want you to make a promise to yourself. Not a perfect promise. A realistic promise. For the next 7 days, listen to English every day, even if it is only 10 minutes. Do not wait for the perfect time. Do not wait for perfect confidence. Do not wait until your grammar is ready. Start with your ears. Start with one short audio. Start with one sentence. Start with one small win. Your English listening will not change because you wish for it. It will change because you train it. And if this video helped you, subscribe to Bookish English, because this channel is here to make English clear, simple, emotional, and possible for you. Like this video if you want more lessons that help you understand real English, and write a comment below with your honest answer. What is hardest for you in English listening? Is it fast speech, different accents, subtitles, translation, connected words, or fear? Also comment day 1 started if you are ready to begin the 7-day listening challenge today. Your comment is not just a comment. It is your first step. You came to this video because English listening felt difficult. Maybe it felt confusing. Maybe it felt embarrassing. Maybe it felt impossible. But now you know the truth. Listening is not a gift only some people have. Listening is training. You do not need to understand every word. You need to catch meaning. You need to stay calm. You need to repeat. You need to choose the right audio. You need to use subtitles wisely. You need to listen actively. You need to return every day. From today, stop just hearing English. Start understanding it. And remember, every sentence you listen to with patience is not wasted. It is building the confident English listener you are becoming. Now you know the truth. Your listening is not broken. Your brain only needs the right training, the right method, and the courage to continue every day. Do not wait for perfect English. Start with 1 sentence. Start with 1 short audio. Start with 10 honest minutes. If this video helped you, subscribe to Bookish English, like this video, and comment below, day 1 started. Your English listening can change, and today can be the beginning. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you soon in the next video.